What's up, everybody? We're back here with Coach Blade after the whistle. Big win from Michigan, 45-20. Really could have been 45-13. They got that touchdown late there, but big win. Think we saw a lot of promising stuff, Coach. Obviously, we got a couple guys back. We still need to get a couple more guys back, but Bryce, threw very well. He made some great balls, made some good decisions. And then we saw some tenacity and ferociousness from our defense, but still they need to get home on the quarterback a little more. So definitely some things to talk about. Hit me with your analysis, Coach, of Michigan, Maryland.
Well, my player of the game was the young back from Grand Rapids, Kuzdzal, number 24. He reminded me a little bit of Butch Woolfolk, actually, when the way he ran the ball, which is high praise.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can run 10 to 100 meters like Butch did, but Butch was a great back for us. And he reminded, on occasion, and I talked to John Wangler, and John said the same thing, reminded me a little bit of Butch. And he did a wonderful job in there. And he held on to the ball, and he ran in there, and he ran with confidence, and he hit the holes correctly. And so for
Held
me,
on to the ball.
along with young Marsh continues to emerge as a real factor in our football, and especially I think in the area of punt return and kick return. Not that he's not an extraordinary receiver, which he is, but I just felt like we weren't very good in those areas, and now I think we're more than adequate with him. And Bryce was good. He hit the passes. We went in there and we played with resilience. We let him march down there and score the first touchdown, which got us all nervous. But they responded quickly. And the team was mentally prepared and really put together one of their best performances, total performances of the year. We can't miss kicks, and I expect Dominic not to do that this week. I expect a repeat performance from last year in Columbus. But we were much better, and we really dominated the game. The game was really not in jeopardy after that first drive, which worried us all. I thought we did good, and we continued to. I thought Maryland. One of the things they really do well, and we had talked about that young quarterback, how he is not dissimilar in ability, stature, um, and capabilities from Bryce. They really protect him. They're great at pass protecting. We haven't generated a lot of sacks from our defensive line, but we've been able to put heavy pressure on from our corners, our edge guys, and so we didn't really generate that many sacks. And I'd like to put more pressure on a quarterback like that. But I think, Wink had us, Wink went into this game, I think, with, and he obviously knew how to control them. They didn't run the ball very effectively after the first series. And, when you can limit a team, make them one-dimensional, make them always have a bad play on first down, you can start to, then they can defense them. You can really understand what they're going to do when you force them into a pass. Maryland's a very young team, almost as young as our team, I believe. So there's good things bode for the future. They don't have the depth we have. Certainly the culture doesn't exist like our culture, the tradition yet. But, they've endorsed their coach there, probably the right thing to do. And so we'll see how they evolve. But it was a great victory for Michigan. And, it puts us where we want to be. Our objectives, our plans, our goals are ahead of us. There's a huge barrier ahead of us and a significant challenge. But this game, I thought, generated the kind of momentum we need going into what is the biggest game of the year, always. Always. The biggest rivalry in sports, in my estimation, pro, college, safety teams for the same thing. So I think the Maryland game put us in a position to get better. We got better. We eliminated a lot of mistakes, played as a team. There seems to be great sort of, right now, harmony. The one thing that did concern me was the injury to Bredesen. We hate to lose our leader and our captain, captain last year, captain this year, and hopefully he'll be able to return. But I feel like, we were able to get Marshall healthy. Thank you, Kuzdzal, for a wonderful job, and more than adequate job at the running back position. And then Bryce continues to evolve. I'll tell you, you have to account for him. You have to account for him as a runner. He's a factor.
Yeah,
And
I really like the way Kuzdo ran the ball. I mean, 3 touchdowns from coming out, he's obviously we're gonna need him next game, and you know how it is. Once you break the ice, man, once you get in the end zone one time, feels easier to get in there the next time. So this was really good to see him develop, get some confidence, 100 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. I mean, from a
a
third string
wonderful
running back,
performance.
yeah, what a performance. And then Marsh. So uh, we talked about Bryce becoming a passer. Okay. He threw a ball, that touchdown. I don't think he can throw a better ball.
He
So,
faded the ball beautifully, and it was a great route and a great catch.
yep.
Those are two real freshmen, not redshirt freshmen. So I don't know
And
what we
now,
call them.
what,
The fearless frosh, the group we have. We're very young. The ferocious frost, but I like my thing. The fighting frosh, because they have fought.
yep.
They have fought all year. They've made mistakes, but they've evolved and they've gotten better.
Well, I like the way
Gotten
our
better.
screen game has come along too. So, like, our offensive line is now getting out and getting blocked. So Donovan McCulley got his second touchdown, made a great. That second passing touchdown was a screen, and our offensive line got to where they need to go.
The
These are
line seems to be coalescing, and Grant Newsom has done a great job. And this would be the right time for that. And now I talked to you about how impressed I was with that offensive line when they took the Purdue game on their backs. They just said, we're going to run the ball, we're going to control the ball, run it down there, run the clock out. And then when they did the same thing against Northwestern on that last drive, when they marched down there and got us in position so Zavada could kick the walk-off field goal. So that offensive line, there are fighters, scrappers. They're all getting better. And they're going to be tested like they've never been tested
Well,
this
and
week.
one guy I wanted to highlight on the defense, coach, because I've been hard on him all year on Twitter and all sorts of stuff, is Hillman. So the first touchdown pass got thrown on him, and he came back and he played even better throughout the game. And he was making open field tackles. He wasn't just going for the shoulder knockout hit. He made it. He made a couple critical tackles. He flew down from the safety position and got to the line of scrimmage and made a tackle for 1 or 2 yards. That if it gets past him, which it has in the past, we've seen in Oklahoma game and these other games, it's a big chunk of
Well,
yards. So
we're
I was
talking about
impressed.
how important open field tackling is.
His attack angles, he's being coached.
It's
Where
better.
how he's dropping down, you got to go flat. These guys want to take angles, and when you take an angle from so far away, you give big lane. So you got to come down hard and then come over. And I think he's done a good job adjusting. So I just want to give. I'm really excited for Barry. I'm excited for these guys to play this receiving core and prove themselves. But we'll talk about that next.
I do
Maryland
want to
game,
mention,
go.
Coach. I do want to mention when we talk about Kuzdo. We got two great running back coaches, two at Michigan.
Fred Jackson.
Freddie Jackson's there, but Tony Alford, he's really a wonderful coach.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's demonstrated that he coached the running backs at Ohio State, and he developed Travion, and I'm telling you, he's a gifted coach. I see that. I was afraid we might lose him to Colorado State. He'd played there, and but they just hired Jim Mora, and he's really a valuable member of the staff, and he does a wonderful job. And then we got Freddie there, and everybody knows Freddie. He was great. Been around Michigan for a long time and made great contributions. So we got a 1-2 punch there. That's you can see it, and you can see it when you look at the performance of those kids.
There's no drop off. It's a
No,
very,
yeah.
those guys come in and they play hard for,
Well, Parker came in. The Parker kid, then the kid from O'Meara, the Ann Arbor kid came in and ran the ball really well at the end. It was fun to see. And it was nice to see a lot of players that have not had the chance to play get in. That's always good for morale, and it's good for a team. It's good, that kind of experience. So that was a lot of good things happened in that game, and we just hope that our leader Bredesen is going to be healthy this week. But I thought the number 42 did a great job replacing him. The house, I'm going to have to look up his name, and I apologize for not knowing it, but he did a really nice job playing the tight end, H-back, fullback position after Bredesen got hurt in the third quarter. Or
Well,
I think
coach,
maybe second quarter.
y- yeah. Oh, he played a good chunk and he played well. That O'Meara kid's from Father Gabriel Richard. There's been some
He's
great
a Gabriel Richard kid, all right.
Eaton. He was
Uh,
him and
uh,
Donnie Eaton or something. They're the Hall of Fame players
yeah,
from
well,
Father
as he
Gabriel.
should be, as he should be. He really did a nice job, and he ran with enthusiasm.
Purpose. Yes, he
Did
was.
a really nice job. Um,
Um, yeah, that was fun to watch. But yeah, coach. I mean, great victory. Great stepping stone.
Jalen Hoffman, 42. Jalen Hoffman, he did a nice
Okay.
job in there. He backs up
Uh,
Bredesen, and we're going to count on him.
well,
So, what the
that's enough on
tradition?
Maryland, coach. Hey, we're cutting it off. This is
What
enough
the
on Maryland. Let's
The only
move
thing about
on.
Maryland, and this people need to see this because this happened in that game. If you have a culture where a key player gets hurt, it's the next man up. Next man fills the breach. Next man up. And the next man's going to go in there and do as good or not better than the man who got injured. That's the concept, that's the tradition, and that's the belief system. Next man into the breach. And that's what Kuzdzal did. And I admire what he did, and he was outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. What a game, coach. It was good stepping stone, like I was saying. Glad we beat Maryland. Now we're coming back to the big house. We'll come right back here in a second and we'll go over what we think
I didn't
about.
even want to talk about Maryland. I was just like, it's over. It's one focus now.
Uh-uh.
But we should mention a great job and reflect on that win because I think it's going to provide us with the momentum that we need to go
I agree.
in the
I saw
biggest
growth.
game,
I
number
saw
one
growth
game.
at some major positions, coach. Defensive backs, offensive line, running backs. There's some good things we saw. So we'll cut it off here and we'll be right back to talk the game.